February 23rd at 10, only on HLN.
As we watch the impeachment trial play out, it is more and more evident that conflict and conflict resolution is a serious challenge in this country.
Either you want the truth, or you must permit the witnesses, or you want a shameful cover-up. History will judge, and so will the electorate.
The only one who should be embarrassed, Mr. Nadler, is you, for the way you've addressed this body. You're not in charge here.
Last night's tempers flaring, and it may look similar to what you deal with when you're faced with difficult people. Maybe it's home, maybe it's the office, maybe it's just walking on the street and you accidentally bump into someone and they freak out at you. Eric Rittmeyer is a Marine. He is also the author of The Emotional Marine, an expert on mental toughness and emotional intelligence, because all of us can relate to these times when we're dealing with difficult people. And you say there are actually 4 ways to do it. And first, it's staying mentally tough by staying in control. That can be one of the hardest things to do.
It's very difficult to do, Lynn. And before I get started, I have to hit on the important things here. Your red dress over the last 2 days, it was very obvious they were 2 different shades of red. So anybody who's saying they're the same dress is crazy. I stand with you in solidarity. I'm wearing that.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, so the emotional,
get caught up to speed.
Right. The emotional piece of it. We're just, as a nation, we're living in this outrage culture where we automatically assume the worst intentions of everyone, and it's making us miserable. It's making everybody unhappy. Instead of finding this cultural fabric that brings us all together, we're just automatically getting upset with everybody. It's making people crazy.
And also, you believe in surrendering your own beliefs. Is that sort of maybe admitting that you don't have to be 100% right?
Absolutely. It's just understanding that people can have an opposing point of view. I can disagree with you and still talk civilly about it. The problem is we're incapable. Once somebody disagrees with a belief we have, we automatically default to these defense mechanisms. And unfortunately, it normally turns into something that just ends friendships, ends relationships. It's a horrible situation.
Next up, compartmentalize. What do you mean by that?
It's finding common ground, so it's setting aside different things. So I might disagree with you on one thing, but I have to put that into a box, set it on the shelf, and try to find common ground somewhere else. Maybe there's something else we can agree on. Sports, something within politics possibly, which is highly unlikely. But take the things, instead of trying to find things we disagree on, set those aside, try to agree on things. Unfortunately, they bleed over.
You also say the most underrated skill of a mentally tough person is this. What is it?
Listening. We're horrible listeners. We're horrible at that. Unfortunately, as a society, we listen with the intent to reply instead of listening with the intent to understand. So as somebody's talking, we're automatically formulating our response in our mind before the person's even finished their thought. We can't comprehend what they're saying if we're automatically thinking about how we're going to respond.
Here's what I find a lot of times. It's listening, but it's listening without interpreting it in your own mind. Sometimes you hear it completely differently than somebody said it. What do you do about that?
You sure do. You have to understand that we have different beliefs, and when people are upset, when people get angry, what they really want, they don't need you to agree with them. What they need to feel is that you're understanding and agreeing with where they're coming from, at least giving them the respect to appreciate their point of view.
Eric, I can agree with you on that. Let's send that peaceful jive out to everybody else. Thank you so much. We appreciate you being with us. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, well, coming up, we are hearing from Prince Charles for the very first time.